Hello my dearest INFJ entrepreneur friends. Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while since you have seen my face, but today I have a very interesting topic for you to discover. So today we're going to talk about self-expression. And I know we have talked about self-expression in so many ways. Like we approach the topic in so many ways, especially when it comes to you building a business around what you do and how you express yourself. The reason why I want to do that is because yesterday I went to a concert and the artist was Rai X, but basically he was the reason why I went to this festival. I don't go to festivals. I mean, really, let's be real here. Like introverts, we love to be not doing outdoorsy things when a lot of people are involved, and loud noises as well, and drunk people. But I went to this festival because of this one artist, Rai. And the reason why I did that is because his music has spoken to my soul in ways that I haven't experienced before. And I did some digging on the artist, and he is an INFJ as well. And one of the things that he was mentioning about his art and his music was the fact that for him, singing is like getting emotionally naked and vulnerable in front of people. And that really hit home for me because not only because for me singing is the same thing, it's the most vulnerable thing that I can do and show to people, or even dancing is the most vulnerable thing I can do and show to people. But in general, I feel like for INFJs, self-expression, like the real depth of our being, like true depth and truth of our self-expression, is the most scariest and most vulnerable thing to do. And I know most of us we are building businesses, some of us are writers, some of us are more on the artistic side. We kind of like want to put our best truth out there, but it can feel really scary. And sometimes we can learn into kind of ease into self-expression. I truly believe that the closer we get into our own truth and self-expression, without, all the layers and, all the masks that we can carry in the social world to fit in, like the closer we get into that raw self-expression of ours that is coming from our heart and our soul, like the depth of that expression, the more that can come to the surface and we can let people witness that, the deeper we can connect with people and the more resonant we get with what we do and the way we write and the way we express. And the more we do that and the more resonant we get, the deeper we can connect with the people. So the deeper we can connect with the people, the deeper we move people, the less we need to rely on the strategies and all the tactics of growing anything, because it's gonna just cut through the noise. And we talked about noise as well, how there's a lot of noise online and how we need to shed those layers. Even though I can tell people, well, just express yourself, no one cares. What I have completely missed is how hard it is for us to do that in a way that is true, in a way that is vulnerable, in a way that is like truly our soul speaking through us. And that's our truest, most deepest expression. It's extremely hard to get there. And it's extremely hard to get there because we have depth that most people cannot even fathom. But also it's a vulnerable place to expose yourself. It feels like you expose your deepest truth and you kind of let the world witness you or reject you if they don't like what you're saying. And we did talk about how we need to source that validation within and how we need to focus on the fact that it's about the message, it's about the expression, it's devotion to that expression. What matters is not what people are saying. And with time, if you stay devoted to that core, that message, that whatever that you want to put out in the world, eventually the people will catch up with you. But in this video, what we're going to talk about is 3 things that you can do to get closer to that self-expression. And I'm going to give you my own personal tips as well. And we're going to go through this, hopefully in this video. And I hope that this is going to help you get closer to that expression of yours, whatever that is to you. So my very first step would be is to practice in low stakes environments. So what I mean by that is when it comes to you coming to express your heart and soul, start from places where it's not a huge audience yet. Often when we build our social medias for our businesses or we practice expression, we shy away from it because we think that we have to become basically naked in front of all the people and let them see our truest expression. And to be fair, you can start by expressing in a more contained environment. If I had to give you like a concrete example, I would tell you to come to a group maybe and share some of your writing. Or if there is something you created, share with us, share with our community, because we don't judge, even if it's something that you are in the process of building. And we can all come in and be, supporting you, even saying what we think and feel about it. And you can start gathering that courage of expressing by you doing that. And I think many of us who come to our virtual hangouts, we actually do that on purpose. Like we like to share like our YouTube channels, what's going on for us, what are we working on, what are we fumbling over. And we do that in a very contained environment, and that's a very safe space for us to share. We have an author with us who has shared his first script, and that's a big deal. And also that's a very vulnerable thing to do. So when we start expressing, that truly expressing, not like expressing in a way that we copy other people on social media and we hope that's going to get us somewhere, but truly express from the heart, say what needs to be said, and whether it's related to our businesses, what we think, what we offer, like all of that is about self-expressing that deeply, truly. But start in places where there is that safety. Start from expressing with people that you trust. Start from a smaller group if you can. So I think the more you can do that and get used to coming to express fully, the easier it will get. It's like a muscle. You're gonna not feel like you're gonna jump off a cliff. The more you do it and you don't die, the more you can kind of get your way into getting closer to the truth of that self-expression. My second tip would be to use a buffer. And when I'm saying use a buffer, what I mean by that is I'm sure you guys see like many artists, they have their own stage name, like Lady Gaga, her name is Stephanie, right? So there are a lot of people who are using stage names to tap into their truest expression. Some people use it to perform. I know people who are using a name to like switch their brain into performance mode. I don't think for the INFJ that's going to be really handy for us. But what we can do is use a buffer, a name, something that it can be a necklace, it can be an object, something that can feel like a protective shield between your truest, deepest expression and the world. So it doesn't feel like you are completely exposing yourself, but it feels like a safe container within which you are safe to express. So the more you practice expressing slowly, again, the deepest truth layer of their expression that you're doing, if you can bring in a container or a buffer. So bringing a buffer actually helps you to kind of create a protective shield, so it's a truer self-expression. I'm going to give you a very personal example, because when I was growing up, I was singing all the time and instead of performing in front of my parents, like singing in front of them, what me and my sister would do, and my sister is also an INFJ, so we had the best childhood, two INFJs. But what we would do with my sister is we would have these stuffed animals, two dogs, like dogs, and there was a horse, like they had their own names. But what we would do is the animals would perform. So instead of us singing, it would be the animals singing. And I remember there was a time where we were performing in front of my grandma, and she's no longer with us, but we would organize the Grammy Awards, and it was all the stuffed animals, and we would rehearse before we would do the performance. And somehow through that performance, it was my two cousins, my grandma, my grandpa, they had to sit through the entire performance with me and my sister were singing, but we're not singing, it's the stuffed animal singing, but we were the ones singing, right? How sweet that self-expression was through that, stuffed animal at a time. It also allowed us to really perform into our truest expression. Even as even as children, we were like using the stuffed animals as a buffer, as a proxy in which through we could express. So I'm not saying you guys should like have a puppet or something and start doing that, but I'm saying is you can have a name that you give to yourself, or it can be an object, or it can be, anything that you feel if you need it. But if you want it, you can absolutely do it. So my final tip would be to get closer to your truest expression and become fully expressed is by stretching yourself slowly. So when I'm saying stretching yourself slowly, what I mean is keep practicing, keep speaking, keep whatever expression, writing, whatever that is to you, creating. Keep doing that and, safe contained environment, use the buffer if you need to, but keep stretching yourself. So instead of shocking the system and putting yourself out there with all your heart and soul and letting the world hit you, keep stretching that context a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and see if you survive. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And eventually you will find it that you can just really express yourself in the way you truly feel and want to. And watch how you are going to cut through the noise right away, the way you do it. So that's it. This is really hard. So I need to rethink every time I talked about self-expression before, because I never understood truly how hard it is. And I was contemplating as well, like how is it that there are some people who feel so easy. It's so easy for them to express themselves, whether it's speaking, whether it's going after whatever they want. Why is it so easy for them? It's so hard for us. And what I've realized is that because it's a different level of self-expression. There's a difference between a performance self-expression of like, hey, I'm just here to nail the performance and build something or do something, right? And the INFJ type of self-expression, which is I'm going to bare my soul here, my heart, and I'm going to give it all. And that's like, let's see how you like it. So it's not easy. We don't do surface level really well. And we can try, but I don't think will work really well for us. So you gotta ease into it. You're gonna practice it and eventually it will get easier. Okay? So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, listening to this one. Courage over fear, progress over perfection. If you ever wanted that on a hoodie, I could see that tagline on a hoodie for us. Let me know. I think I might do that one day for us because I think it will be fun. In the comment section below, let me know what is something that you always wanted to kind of express or put out there, but you were too afraid to do it. I'm curious to know. Let's see if we can get you there. Bye, guys.